Hello my dear Gemini, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between February 16 and February 28, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I'm very grateful for all the viewers I had from you Gemini last month, or the beginning of February readings. So thank you for that. So I want you to know that I have put astrological information for the month of February in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in the video. For this reading I used the Chart of the Hidden Realms by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Julia Jeffrey, and I'll start shuffling your cards. So when I open your deck here, I see the Queen of Pentacles and Two of Wands and Eight of Pentacles. So some of you might be involved with an earth sign person. Two of Wands is showing some kind of it's actually showing some kind of distance between you two. I know that these Two of Wands seems to play along perfectly. But I feel another vibration from the card. We have the World card also behind that. It's very amazing. But it's some kind of strength. It's some kind of... you're not selling yourself off to play with like whomever. It's this energy that I also got with the Virgo reading here. Queen of Pentacles. It's actually Virgo. So an Eight of Pentacles is like when you're working... very hard on yourself or on a current situation, and I'm thinking it's about self-control in relationships. Queen of Pentacles is something very valuable usually in your life. It's self-love, it's your resources, it's much what we saw with the 21, the world, that's connected to the Empress. It's everything that's on this earth. It's made of of nature, from Gaia. So okay. I call the Divine with Love and Light, and here we see the Seven of Wands. So Seven of Wands goes again very well with the Two of Wands. So you're holding up your boundaries. You're keeping with the Seven of Wands, you're keeping unwanted things out of your life. You're standing there like a door bouncer. You're very determined. You know what you want, so that's good. And I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world. And here we see the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is, it's a lot. It's about family, society, traditions, traditional events such as baptism, marriage, funerals, a lot of those things. So the Hierophant, it's like our society's knowledge. From the beginning they were like the shamans, keeping the traditions of the tribe, remembering everything. So we can say that the Hierophant is like the library of your human knowledge. And what I'm feeling here, it's maybe it's commitment, what I'm feeling mostly. That maybe many of you want to get married and be in committed love relationship. You want something that's safe. You want something, it's like you have grown up and you're saying no to certain things that you don't want, and you have set higher standards for yourself. It's something that you do want and that you acknowledge for yourself that you want. So at least you have a goal now, so that's good. Okay. And I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water, Page of Pentacles, Spirit and Ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Gemini viewers. Eight of Pentacles again. So Page of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. You're starting to kind of love your natural self. You start to love the person that you are for real, and you don't want to hide anymore. You don't want to pretend that you're someone else for the sake of fitting in different social situations. You want to find your own tribe. That is what I'm feeling very, very... It's also came through with Virgo, so it's probably something that's going... Either you're dealing with a Virgo, or it's something that's going on with events on the heaven, like the astrological part of it all, that we are opening now gates to becoming much more adult and also being much more determined with what we want, and we're not kind of compromising ourselves anymore to for having this, like having half of this. We want it all. So I call all these aspects to give us a clear view reading for my dear Gemini viewers. So I want my dear Gemini to have love in their lives, and here we have the little Page of Pentacles together with the Knight of Cups and the World card. This looking like a love relationship, like soulmate love relationship. It might be that you're very in love with an earth sign. Yes, or an earth sign might be in love with you, of course, also. But it feels like, Gemini, you are this Knight of Cups. It might also be that you are involved with a Knight of Cups and it's a new relationship. Maybe you have ended something old, the 21 World being the last card in the Major Arcana, and you want to begin something new. And it might be that now also you're open to become more vulnerable, to show your true you, because if you don't show your true you, you will end up with people that don't love the true you. If you hide and try to be someone else, your true one won't find you, because they will fall in love with what is you. And if you are acting like someone else, well, they are not going to be attracted by you. So people needs to become authentic so we can recognize each other. Okay. So the Page of Pentacles is like the seed, who you were when you came, what God planted you as, and then you have tried to be something else than what she planted. Okay, you have tried to be, if you were planted as tomato, you have tried to be like oranges or something else. Okay, so I will just tune in a few seconds to your reading, Gemini, and to you and your energy. Okay, my dear Gemini, this is your future. There it is. And this is your now. And this is the past. And in the past here we have the moon. So in January we have 2 full moons, and they might have made a number on you. Like it can be like being in an oven or being in a compressor chamber. It can be very feeling very awkward and feeling very you might have feel very uneased through the different moon phases that we experienced in January. In February there won't be any moon. It will be moon, of course, but not any full moon. So it will come in the beginning of March. Okay, and we see the 7 of Wands here and the little Ace of Pentacles there, and this is 10 of Pentacles, going back to this with commitment and tradition again, and a Capricorn, the Devil. So we can see that both these are horned. So I think that you have been compressed and pulled and dragged and like really challenged emotionally and inwardly inside of your body, because you needed to acknowledge something about yourself, what you truly wanted. You might have been lying even to yourself, and that is making it very hard for you to stand up for the right thing. You might stand up against the thing that you want because you think you won't get it, and then it will really not come to you. So you need to fight for whatever it is that you want, even if you think that that thing doesn't want you. So it can be like you have met a lot of fears here and a lot of internal obstacles to why you can't get what you want, because you might not even acknowledge that you want it. You might fighting against it and say, no, I really don't want it. I love being single. And really you don't. You feel lonely. Okay. And here we have the little Page of Pentacles, the new seed to something, and it's this same card again. So I'm feeling this hope for the future. I'm feeling spring love, and I'm feeling it's this what you need to be brave enough to follow this path down the road, because when you feel this hope for something, and if you would get disappointed, you might be really sad. But that's okay too. To be really sad is okay too. If you can learn to be with it and roll out the red carpet to it as you do with happiness, because it's just another side of the coin, and we're not supposed to just run over it. Our pain and our sorrow is the way we digest misfortunes, mishappenings. We can't just skip over it. It's a part of life. You need to have a pulse, up, down, up, down. But many people, they don't even dare to to dream or hope or go for it, because they believe that they are going to be in this state of despair afterwards when things didn't go as they have planned, so they don't even risk trying. And that can really keep the person prisoner in an unlocked room. And here we have this Fool, the beautiful courage to try everything new. And the High Priestess is just showing that your emotions, when you get disappointed, for example, it's just your knowledge. It's your knowledge that this situation makes me disappointed. And it's very good to acknowledge that, because if you don't know when other people, for example, in a situation is making you sad, you might go on fraternizing with them until you get yourself into a depression. It's much better to know when you're feeling bad and when you don't. When you know, you have the upper hand, because then you can do something about it. And with the Fool, you have every capacity to do something about it. It's very brave energy. It's a naive also, so it doesn't. It's like this. I don't mind what happens. I'm in this life. I'm in love. I'm in this great like spin. I don't care what happens. I just rise myself off and brush myself off and move on. Also with the sadness, everything is a part of the experience of being alive. It's nothing is like so dangerous. You shouldn't go there. This life will end up with all of us being dead. 100 years from now, might even not be people there anymore to recognize you if you were walking down the street. So we need to live. We can't stay in fear and protecting ourselves from something, and then everything is over and you didn't do anything about the situation you were in or even trying. So what did we have here? We had the Moon, yes, the 5 Swords. You are very fearful of something. It might be that you are fearful of defeat, or other people seeing that things doesn't go that well for you. That might be the worst. You might be able to handle it if no one sees, but if someone sees, that might be much worse for you. So being humiliated is a part of losing your ego. If you can be like humble and say I'm sorry, and it hurts, it's fine, because that's the ego leaving room. It's like burning away to make room for your soul to step down. And your soul is like a grown-up person, while the ego might be like a 3-year-old. So your grown-up person is much more better to handle things than what your ego is. So it's much better to be like acknowledging your flaws and laughing at your mistakes, and that's being the bigger person. Here with the 5 of Swords, you just try to win, or someone is trying to win over you, and it's this humiliation. It's something that's you don't want other people to see, or you don't want to see yourself. For example, if you're with someone and they don't act like they love you, you might not acknowledge that, because if they don't love you, that might be like an internal disaster for you. It might humiliate you. Like, isn't you worth to be loved? Isn't you hot enough to be loved? What's the matter with this person? So you don't even acknowledge that the action that this person does. Family, friend, co-worker, or the most obvious lover, you don't acknowledge that what they are doing, their action, is not speaking of love at all, because you don't want to feel this feeling of being humiliated. 5 of Swords might be that you have a fallout with someone as well, and it has made you very sad and lost, and feeling lonely. Queen of Swords is a very lonely soul. She's much like the Hermit, sitting somewhere with all her wisdom. She knows a lot of things, and maybe too much, so she's a little bit careful with any action at all, because she knows, like, if I do this, this will happen. If I do that, that will happen. So she's rather cool. She just sits there doing nothing, and life idly passes her by. The Queen of Swords can use her superpower to know things, but and act accordingly with them, but it's in this case it's making her frozen. It's probably you that's being frozen. You're not able to move forward with this energy that you with what you want to have, because you fear what will come, like the downfall of what your actions. Like, if I do that, this will happen. If I tell a person I love them, they might humiliate me and say, well, I don't love you. Or if I like frankly ask my friend if they are avoiding me, like deliberately, and they say yes, maybe I would die on that spot. So the Queen of Swords needs to use her superpower to see things like this, where she's trying to run away from herself or from what she knows. And we can know things inside of ourselves, but they need to be communicated. So you need to be able to tell people what you see. It looks like you're angry. It feels, for me, like you're avoiding me. I feel like you're always skipping me when it's time for a race or time to step up that career ladder. What's that all about? Can we talk it through like adults? So this is what the Queen of Swords needs to do with her superpower, not just become stiff and hide like in a cave somewhere or somewhere all alone and just sit and hope that nothing of what she sees will actually be true. So you know a lot of things. Use them to your advantage. Start to communicate. Start to find out if what you see is the truth. And here we have a Two of Pentacles. So this is a step-by-step thing that you need to do by training. Okay, you need to train. You need to start training on falling off the wagon, because the Queen of Swords, she's Libra, so she wants to have everything in balance. She don't want to have a lot of emotions, because that makes her unbalanced. And Two of Pentacles is the card of being rather unbalanced, but it's what's needed. If you go out in the world and mix, and things make you fall over in different ways, you know, you can see, okay, this situation makes me fall over, now I'm sad. So when you're sad, you're just staying with it. And staying with it is self-love. It's self-healing. It's like you're fueling your own ability to digest pain. And that will put you magically back in balance and reveal your own superpower for yourself, how resilient you are and how very great you are in digesting pain and humiliation and misfortune. You're much more resilient with this than what you could ever imagine. But since we were small, we will learn to, oh, don't cry anymore. You don't have to be sad. We can fix this for you. And this is now what you're doing. You're trying to stop crying and want someone to fix it for you. But really, both pain and joy are there for a reason. No thing of this is supposed to be just skipped over. If you learn how to deal with pain, to stay with pain and get the information from pain, that you need, and you already have, because the Queen of Swords is very bright and smart, but she might not just want to take in the information. So she's blinding herself and silencing herself because she doesn't want to feel uncomfortable. And here you go out and you feel uncomfortable. You put your friendship, your love, your romantic love relationship, or whatever situation you're in, to the test. You're talking openly about the things that you more naturally wants to sweep underneath the carpet. Here you expose yourself for weather and wind. So it's a good thing. And we had the moon thing here. So when we are fearful of things, we try to avoid them. When we face them head on, it's going to be a shaky road. Like she's crawling forward, and it's much what with Two of Pentacles. We need to crawl and learn to crawl before we can run. So she's crawling through this with emotions, and might need to lay down also in fetal position and just scream or feel ache and pain and all these things. But eventually she will learn to walk and then to run, and pain won't be like a master in her life. It's like pain is standing there with a big whip and keeping you in chess, so you are not able to do anything or create the things that you want because you're frozen with fear. So if you face the fear, you will become a hero instead, and you will be a grown-up, and you will be able to deal with whatever situation comes along. So that's going to make your life much more beautiful and fulfilled with things. Here we have the Four of Cups. It came also for Virgo, but then it was really centered. So Four of Cups is about digesting pain and staying with pain. Sometimes it can be a person that's withdrawn because it's like, don't touch me. I know this with if you ever have been through an accident, for example, when I have fallen off a horse really badly and someone comes close to me, I say, don't touch me, not at all, because it hurts so much. So I just need to stay with that that pain until I can breathe again and see if, okay, my feet are still there, even though the horse trampled on them, they're still there, they are not like falling off or anything. And then or after those seconds I can get help. But this is like you are in this situation here where you have been so hurt and you just don't touch me, don't talk to me. It's almost like you can't bear anyone look at you. So it's like you have an acute trauma is what I'm feeling here. And we can see the birds are doing, it's like they're following the same motion, these birds and the seals here. I think it's seal. Yes, Navy SEALs. Yes, okay, it's seals. Oh, anyway, you're digesting your pain of humiliation. So you might have understood, like with your clear Queen of Swords and step by step, that someone don't honor you that much like you are honoring them. And for example, a lover that doesn't call, they don't honor you, and here you're just digesting it. You're digesting, okay, this person wasn't that into me. It's not what I wanted, but it's what is. And if you know things, if you see things very clearly, this is when you can do something about it. This is when you can take you out of it. If you would never see it, you would stay with a person that never will respect you or love you enough to make you happy. So here you're just digesting the pain of it all, just staying with it. And as food digests itself, you don't have to really do anything. But sometimes if we have a big stomach ache, for example, this might be a good position, and even lying down with our head to the ground when we have a problem with our digestion. And this is maybe what you need to do with digesting your pain as well. Fetal position, or just staying in bed, or just staying with your emotions. So it's for a good cause. It's healing. It's going to make you feel better. And as I said, sometimes also screaming helps or sounding together with the pain. So that requires you to have well isolated rooms, or being far out in the country, because in other case someone might call the police on you. So here we have the Nine of Cups wanting to rescue you, and Nine of Cups wants to rescue you too. And here you can see this. Here she has found out what it is that she sees for real, and now she knows the truth. She can create a beautiful future for herself. Nine of Cups being the wish card. So whenever you know what you have and what you don't have, you can start to dream and like ask for the things that you want to have. And when we see the reality, we can dream of a better future, not in anxiety, not in I need it today, because in other case, no, it comes when it comes, and you are staying with whatever is now. You're not running into a better future because you can't stand your now. You stay with your now, you digest your now, but like an architect, you are building on your future with your clear vision and what your emotions tell you that you want. What's your needs? You need to find out your needs. When you crawled up like this before, when you kind of denied how you felt, you didn't know. But here, when you're starting to digest your pain, you will be able to know what you want. Okay, before, when you run away from all the knowledge that your pain had, you didn't learn by your mistakes, for example, because you never listened to what the mistakes told you afterwards. That, okay, next time I want to be with the person that actually sees me, or I want to be on a work where people actually appreciates me, or where they are not talking smack behind my back, or whatever it is going on with you there above. So some of you might be dealing with an earth or a water person. We have Cancer and Pisces there. So it might be Scorpio as well. We have Moon there, that's Cancer, Pisces as well. Scorpio are more depth card. They are more transformative, changeable, adaptable. Here you have the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords is like you're putting down your weapon. You don't wish to fight anymore. It's like you are this warrior, but you put down your weapon because you're not going to fight in these wars anymore. You know now what you want. I'm feeling a very strong determination from you. You know what you want, and it's not this. Page of Swords is also a person being able to start talking. Queen of Swords might have some difficulties with this, and that's because how authority have, or patriarchy has been treating her like female talkers, female authority. Queen of Swords is an authority, but she's keeping silently with it. But this is a Page of Swords. She hasn't learned this yet. She's a rebel, okay? So it's like you're starting to take away the stitches before your mouth and start opening it up and telling. But you're also, when you don't think it's there's no meaning to talk with this person, you're just going to put down your arms and walk away. So this is what I'm feeling, step by step, walking away is what I'm feeling here with you, Gemini. Some other thing, Page of Swords is much alone, like the Queen of Swords. Both like to be out in nature. And you can see the pattern behind here is like an eternal pattern, something with the wisdom that you have now gotten from your emotions. So you're much more wiser now than you were before. This is going to be very helpful for you on your journey to have this very clear vision here. So you're judging people, and this time you're not judging them for being like not good enough. They are just not good enough for you because they make you feel bad. Oh, and here you have the Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. It might be that you're giving up on an earth person, or an earth person is giving up on you, or likewise, both. But it's children. So for some of you, it might be a twin flame relationship when children comes like this. It can also be about children. That this might go on between siblings or between your children. That very people are, you can see they are, this row is like totally meditation. This row is watching at this direction and that in that direction, to the past, to the future. So I'm thinking maybe if you are with an earth sign, they might be dwelling on mistakes made in the past, and you want to move on with the future, but you can't just move on with the future before you have digested the past. You can't continue eating if your digesting system isn't working. So you need to be talking about what have happened. There seem to be like a possibility for solution if communication is used. Okay. So that was in the now, that's the second part of February. This might be the first part, also going into January. Here we have the Three of Swords. It also came for Virgo, but then it was here, and the Four of Cups was in the middle. Nine of Cups, I think, was there. So Three of Swords, I'm thinking this is what's happening. You're finally letting it catch up with you, like the pain of it all, the pain of whatever it is that you have tried to kept like away from you, away from your mind. You didn't want to know that it was there, but now it's catching up with you. So Three of Swords, it comes from the Five of Swords to the Four of Cups. So digesting of this pain, getting to the root causes, and Nine of Cups and Two of Pentacles. It might be that you or someone else is not being that faithful. It's Two of Pentacles is like juggling. Nine of Cups is the person that wants a lot of resources. They are they can be smug about it also. It's a person that's dream a lot. They want a lot. Big house, big fine car, green lawn, beautiful wife. And this is what we all wish for. It's like a treasure chest, but most people are modest with this, and some are not. They want more than one. So this might be also what's going on. And if it's going on, if you feel betrayed, you probably are betrayed. So if you were feeling safe, you would probably be safe. So you need to listen to yourself. Your subconscious and your wisdom here with the Queen of Swords and Nine of Cups is tremendously accurate, I would say. It's like you have super antennas. So you can trust yourself fully. If you don't trust a person, look inside. If you trust yourself, you can, and you don't trust the person, probably there's something fishy going on. If you don't trust the other person and you don't trust yourself, you need to work on self-trust first, because usually the most jealous people are the one that's unfaithful themselves. And the other person is like, what? I don't understand why you're this obsessive. Because it's not in their mind. And they are not thinking about infidelity because they are not being unfaithful. So therefore they don't. So you need to check out what's what. But usually if you are not a suspicious person overall and suddenly you become very suspicious, trust that gut feeling. And a person that's secretive often has a lot to hide. So you have a Five of Swords and a Five of Wands. So you're definitely having a falling out with a person. Might be a water person or another swords person, air person. So Three of Swords, Five of Wands. It seems like a person, and you and another person doesn't have the same like feeling of how it is to play together. You need to learn this. This is a child play situation where people are not really acknowledging. They're childish, so they're not acknowledging when they are causing other people pain, and it's also that you don't have the same worldview. So with the Five of Wands and Two of Pentacles, you really need, you're in a learning situation. You need to learn something. So you need to talk and talk and talk with the other person. If they don't want to talk, they're probably not invested in the situation. Because if you are invested, you talk, you try to solve things, you try to. And if the person doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to communicate with you, doesn't want to do the work together with you, they probably are not that invested in the relationship, and you need to give them consequences for that, okay? So if they show that they're not invested, there's no relationship to invest in. It's that simple as that. Because if the person doesn't do the work, there's no use with them. They will just cause you pain, anxiety, sadness, dramas, conflicts, and you don't want that. And for you cross-watchers, some of you might be Gemini doing this, so you know that this reading is for the people that watches it. So you that's called to watch it will have one of these sides, like either you, the person that's maybe cheating or like arguing in a situation. Maybe you want someone to break up with you, or someone wants to break up with you but don't want to do the work themselves. So they are causing a lot of trouble, a lot of drama, a lot of conflicts, making you unsure of yourself. But it might make you even more attached. The more a person hurts you, the more you want them to be happy again and love you again. It's a thing that we have from our situation when we were children. We wanted our parents that were our sole providers to be happy with us so they wouldn't starve us to death. It's like our inner body is in survival mood, and a person that's not into you or not wanting to or not loving you that much might trigger this, like the parent that doesn't give you what you need, and that might make you even more needy. So you need to be very careful with this energy and really see what's going on. Use your Queen of Swords energy to see things from above. Even if you are not having Queen of Swords as sun, moon or rising, you still have the Queen of Swords. You can still use your mind to determine what's what, okay? And here's the future, so life renewed. So this is like, it's a little child, but it's really about being adult. It's about taking the consequences of what you know and therefore creating something new and better. Because you see what is and you see what you want, and you start to determinedly pick yourself up and start to go towards that direction. So it's with children. We can tell them, don't do that. It's dangerous. But they still want to do it. They want to do their own mistakes. They want to, they can't trust another person. So this is the life renewed. It's when you have made your own mistakes and now you know. So you have got an important knowledge that you now can use to take yourself forward in this situation. Be adult about it. Don't expect someone to come and comfort you. If they don't, you should expect someone to come and comfort you, but if they don't love you that much. And then you need to comfort yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need to give yourself justice. You need to stand up for yourself. And for some of you, it might be that you get this eureka moment that, well, I didn't treat this person that good in the past, and now I understand that this was not a good thing. Now I feel like the reality is catching up with you, and you are realizing that, oh God, I did a mistake. So for some of you, it will be like that also. You have the Two of Pentacles here and the Page of Swords. So it's kind of called for that someone should apologize to mend the situation. But it's more like the person is just walking away. And maybe they don't want to be humiliated by saying that they're sorry, because they're still a 3-year-old with a very big fat ego. If they were an adult person, they would be able to say, I'm sorry I didn't love you in the way that you needed. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you in the way that you needed. And maybe I need to live on my own to find out what it is that I really want, instead of keeping hurting you. So taking responsibility instead of just, using the exit door. And here we had the Fool. So the Fool and life renewed. It's a very beautiful energy. It's showing that whomever that has gotten this epiphany here and finally realized one thing or two will have a really great future ahead of them, and leaving sadness and conflict behind, and probably being much more smarter of how to break news for people. Okay, interesting. And for those of you being in conflict with a person, I would say that how much they are invested in solving that conflict says how much energy you should put into that person. Because if they are just walking away, as soon as you open your mouth and you tell what's wrong and they are gone, then that's not worth investing in. You shouldn't put down your seed here. You shouldn't try something with this person. They're not there for you, so it won't work in the long run. Try to find someone that are willing to do the work, are willing to take the confrontations, the discussions, finding like solutions, plans for the future, how to deal with this the next time it comes up. An adult person, instead of a 3-year-old unable to say I'm sorry for something that they have done, or just because you maybe need to hear I'm sorry. Loyal heart. It was in the reverse, but we read it. It's the one that catch my heart. I feel it in my chest when it's the right card. It's vibrating together with my heart. So, wrong number. There it is. Yes. Fidelity, loyalty, devotion. Remember that it came in the reversed. Evidence of loyalty will appear in your life. Others will prove they are faithful to you, and you will in return commit fully to them. There is a sure and abiding certainty in your heart. Know that Spirit is always loyal to you, no matter the outer circumstances in your life. Trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected and divinely directed. So if you're like suspicion of that there's infidelity going on, trust it. Okay, trust it. Don't trust that you're loved. This card came in the reversed. So it's kind of saying that what it is that you want in a lover. You want fidelity, loyalty, devotion. You want evidence of loyalty in your life. So you want the person to show this to you. And if they don't, I'm sad to say, there's not much of a love relationship between you. It might be a person in love and the other person using the person in love. Yes. I will read the reversed message for this card. Protection message. Are you stubborn or overly tensious about an idea, or have you become so attached to something that you just don't know how to let it go? Could it be that it's become so much a part of you that you wouldn't know how you would live without it? Now is the time to look at outdated beliefs, old ideas, and misplaced loyalties. As, for example, if you are loyal to someone that isn't like an inch loyal to you, like at all loyal to you. Betrayal is only a signal that it is time to prune away all who don't deserve your trust and have no place in your life. Be new, think new, and open your heart to new things. Let go of the old and all your attachments. Spirit has awesome plans for you. Make some room. And I've felt this vibrating for so many people for a long time now. It's like you're making together the book for the old and just ending a lot of situations that's unworthy to make yourself ready for a new start. So keep on with the good job. Sort out who's a friend and who's a foe, who's there for you in the way that you are there for them, and who's not. Who's faithful and who's not, who's loyal and who's not, who has your back and who hasn't. Okay. So Kuan Jing, Wild Kuan Jin Oracle card for you. Surrender, sensitive sister, be moved by the moon. Yes, you had the moon card there. 38. Surrender. That's a song for you. I'll put it in the description box. I see here. It's with Disco Boys. Surrender. Okay. You know what you know, even when you don't know how you know it. I speak to you through your intuition, which is beyond logic. Even when you feel like you know too much or are too sensitive, you do not need to shut down or try to protect yourself from the feeling or the knowledge. What I saw with you in the beginning, that you know a lot of things, but you don't acknowledge it or you don't believe in it. What will work better for you is to be open and truthful with all that you feel and resist nothing. It shall then simply flow, changing like the phases of the moon, naturally and without effort on your part. I will guide you and show you how to do this so that you will never be afraid, even of the passing experience of fear itself, and you shall become surrender into life, a living embodiment of grace in motion. So what I feel is that you want your friend, partner, lover, whatever it is, to surrender to you and say that they're sorry. You want them to open your heart. You want them to show that they are into you, that they really want to fight for this situation. And that's the sign you're looking for. And if you're not getting it, you need to let go and surrender the relationship. So this is what I see for you. Okay, so my dear Gemini, I hope this helped. And I want you to take really good care. And I welcome you back to my beginning of March reading that I will perform in the middle of February. And don't forget, I will put your song in the description box below the video. If you want to look at an astrological video for the February month, you can check my Q&A or my webpage, www.queenofcupstarot.se. So, have a lovely February, my dear Gemini. Bye-bye.